Okay, we're going to call to order the Torrington Public Schools Board of Education regular meeting for Wednesday, March 19th at 6:06. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Brady?
Here.
Mrs. Capabianco is stuck in traffic. Mayor Carbone? Here. Mr. Hinman?
Here.
Mrs. Bowman here. Mr. Kisco?
Here.
Mr. Nargi?
Here.
Mr. Rader?
Here.
Mr. Rivero?
Here.
Mr. Tebow?
Here.
Mr. Traub?
Here.
Ms. Batchelder? Mr. Campolita?
Here.
Mrs. Placco? Here. And Aaron Sullivan will be student rep tonight. Here. Thank you.
Thank you. School and community session. The board invites members of the community to speak on topics to be addressed in the agenda or on other topics of interest. Individuals wishing to make comment are requested to fill out the speaker sign-up sheet, which is currently on its way to me, including your name and address, which must also be stated at the beginning of your comment. The board will not allow comments regarding specific staff members or personal grievances. Courtesy is expected in this limited public forum. The participating time will be limited to 3 minutes per person and 10 minutes overall to guarantee an efficient operation of the meeting. Mr. Batt. Welcome.
William Battle, parent, Red Mountain Avenue, Torrington. My wife has forbidden me to rant at you with my usual rant about the rights of honor students and their parents. So I'll just acknowledge that I understand that we don't have a tag program, and I think that's unfortunate. I would like to share something with you. Last Wednesday, I was one of several hundred parents, teachers, administrators throughout Connecticut that went to testify at the hearings on the two issues of the Common Core, and it was very interesting. And one of the things that I would like to pass on to you, I think that every board member, if he can, should take a look at the transcript that they have on the, I think it's on the Connecticut internet right now, and take a look at it. It was an all-day session. There were hundreds of people, 127 people had signed up to testify at 8:30 in the morning. We got to the public hearing, we got to testify somewhere around 7 o'clock that night. The last public members testified somewhere between 11:30 and 12. The word in the hall was that there's going to be, because of the political situation, that the governor's going to back off on certain amounts of it for political reasons. I don't think that that's something that we need to concern ourselves with if that's the case. But there were a big number of attorneys there that also have something to say something about the possibility of a lawsuit to test the constitutionality, both state and federal, of the particular standards. And I think that we should be ready for that as a community. I'm not, my own opinions about it, neither here nor there, but I do believe that this board should apprise themselves of some of the back and forth that were taking place. These weren't people that came out there simply to rattle cages. They were concerned citizens, many of them from all over the places, from places like Avon, Simsbury, Vernon, a lot of different places, people in the valley. And the only thing that I really took concern with was some of the mantra positions where we always have things like we hear, global economy, new century and all of that. And when I was asked by one of the people out in the hall what I thought about the idea of a global economy, I had to let him know that I was from Torrington, and there was a time when 1/3 of the pins and needles of around Europe came from this particular town, when we had factories here that produced economic value for 15 different distribution places throughout Europe for almost 100 years. So the idea of global economy to Torrington or any place in the valley, from Naugatuck to Waterbury to Ansonia, is not something new, and I felt that it was disingenuous for them to talk down to us as if we were people who never heard of global economy. I do believe you should take a look at it and fine.
Wrap it up.
And The only irony was a good friend of mine is Commissioner of Education, and the people that I've been talking to before we started off saw him hug me, and so I think I lost some of my credibility as a rebel rouser. Thank you. I think it's important to do that if you can.
Thank you, we will. Denise Janelle.
Good evening. My name is Denise Janelle. I live at 105 Calhoun Street. I watched with some mixed feelings at the last budget meeting when you were talking about the academy down at Midgeon Avenue and certified teachers being used as tutors. I guess my question is, are we supplying a tutor per child down there? And at what expense to us as taxpayers?
We're just providing tutors. We're not providing a teacher per child.
A tutor per child, though?
No.
No?
There
So-
are language, yeah, go ahead, because I lost the word.
Students are working online, so there could be anywhere from 1 to 5, 1 to 3 ratios. If there's a specific topic, like AP chemistry a student may be taking, then, you know, that's a singleton course, and then they do have tutoring for that. So it's on an at-needs basis, but the majority of students are doing most of their work on the online program.
All right, this is not the online program here, correct? We're talking about the one down at Midgeon Avenue?
It's the same though, it's the same Odyssey Ware, it's the same program that we offer for students here online, because that is part of Torrington Public School, except that the students who participate cannot come to the school at this point.
So this, the one at Midgeon is only for the expelled students or suspended students? Is that correct? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I was given the impression that there were more students down there than just those, and I was wondering why we weren't using our facility up here and our teachers or tutors up here. If we already have them here, why would we have the extra expense down there?
I would rather have them up here. This is where they belong with their peers in the learning environment.
All right, so it's only the students that have been expelled, not other students. That's correct. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Better get it going. Chris Stolarczyk. I'm sorry if I said it wrong.
Hi. Excuse my kids if they're loud. Thank you for letting me come in. My wife and I have lived here for going on 6 years. And we moved to Torrington to raise our family. And as they're getting to the age to be in school, we unfortunately have been having to seek other alternatives for kindergarten. Both of our children go to a preschool that's from 9 to 1 right now. And they have lunch at school. And my son, who's going to be in kindergarten this coming fall, when he were to go, if he came to Torrington, he would spend less time in kindergarten than he does right now in his preschool. And we understand that he might be getting more education, clearly, but we also are afraid he's going to be bored. So because of that, we're seeking, as I said, other alternatives. Catholic schools, some of the lottery system schools. Additionally, my wife and I are products of public school, and we very much want our children to go through that system. And we support it, and more than one note that she wanted me to point out to you is that more than 70% of our state schools already are in the full-day kindergarten, and that 11 states require it in the nation. I, for one, would say if we went to the full day here, my son would very much, within 100%, be going here next year. So we're very excited for that possibility and hope that you go in that direction. That was all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But I was being quiet.
Yes.
Approval of the agenda. Can we get a motion for the agenda? Second? Who's the second? Chris? Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Informational sharing, student representatives. Student representative.
We can all pretend I'm still a student, that'd be nice. Excuse me being proxy, my student got the stomach flu at the last minute, so I am here on her behalf. First, I have a presentation of, my name is Erin Sullivan, by the way, I teach English at the high school, and I'm the student council advisor. I have a presentation for Forbes Elementary. 2 fifth graders, Darian Arias and Dara Dye, were honored at the CAS Celebration of the Arts at the AquaTurf in Southington. Darren for art and Dara for music. All classes have recently participated in Jump Rope for Heart. The Sharon Audubon Society has presented programs to 1st and 3rd grades. All 3rd graders went on a field trip to the CRRA Trash Museum. 5th graders have started the DARE program. All Forbes staff and students contributed to the United Way food drive. 5th graders have been participating in an ASAP after-school arts program project with Michael Motion, combining math, motion, and physics. All grade levels have been providing opportunities for parents to come in and see and understand what their children are doing in reading, writing, and math via essay sharing, writing celebrations, and math family hours. 3rd grade teacher Robin Laversis was featured in an article on the Common Core Standards in Sunday's Republican American. Upcoming events, the beginner band and orchestra concert is May 27th. The Connecticut Science Center field trip for grade 5 is May 28th. And the Career Day Expo is April 4th. At the high school recently also participated in the United Way food drive and raised over 500 items. March has been Music in Our Schools month. The jazz combo won first place at Fermi High School a few weeks ago. The music department at THS hosted a concert at the high school last Thursday to rave reviews. The jazz ensemble is playing this Sunday at Infinity Hall, and tickets are still for sale if you'd like to go on the website. They also played at the St. Jude's Telethon in early March. The boys' swim team last night placed 3rd at the Class M state finals, which is the highest place they've received since 1997. Matt Traub went all-state in 3 events, including winning the 200 IM and the 100 backstroke. Jack Wasick went all-state in the 500 freestyle, and the medley relay team of Matt Traub, Jack Wasick, Griffin Pelkey, and Brad Nichols won 2nd and were all-state in the medley relay. The dodgeball tournament for Generation Wanda is on March 27th. This is an annual tournament to raise money for this charity. You can sign up for a team through Robin Magistrale at the high school still. I know that the Rotary Club always has a team, so if the Board of Ed wanted to get a team together, just saying. Good charity. It's currently registration time at the high school. Students are going on Power School to sign up for their classes and will be meeting with their counselors to finalize. Members of the sophomore class, in connection with the Torrington Youth Services Bureau, have successfully submitted a grant to start a new tutoring program at the elementary schools and middle school using high schoolers, and they're waiting to hear back on that grant. The high school business department hosted interview day at the high school on February 28th. Local businessmen and women came in and provided students with a real-life interview experience so that they could get a sense of what that job experience would be like. The National Guard BMX for School Success program came to the high school on March 5th. The assembly focused on strategies of successful students and presented to all students. Tomorrow in the media center here in the evening, I believe 6 o'clock, and I'm not positive on the time, I'm sorry, you can check it on the website. The guidance department will present a planning for college program to all interested parents. And the foreign language classes have been busy fundraising and preparing for their European trips in 2015. Questions?
I just wanted to thank you for the press releases you've been doing and all, I mean, it's really appreciated.
Happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. First we had essay contest.
Okay. Start.
This evening evening. I would like to first welcome Marilyn Hoyt. Please come forward. Marilyn, you've received a prestigious nomination today to be part, not today, but this year, to be part of a great team, to be part of selecting the books for the teen, Nutmeg Teen Selections. And how long have you been reading? And how many books have you read?
So far, I've read 14. I have to read 86 to 88 by the fall. Yeah.
And then what's the process beyond there?
Well, we meet at the end of April. By then, I have to have read 32, and we discuss, there's a committee of 15, 3 of whom are students, and we have animated discussions about which books we think should be in the collection. And then the final vote will be in November. We come down to 10 titles after reading 88.
And when do you do this? Between 9 at night and 5 the next morning?
Well, I'm going to be retired, so I'll have more time to.
Well, I'm glad that you received this honor while you were still with Torrington Public Schools, because to be selected and to participate, I know that you've always been introducing children, regardless of what grade level you were working on, to the Nutmeg books. And you were doing your own mini survey and recognition to them. So thank you for doing this this year. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm like a proud mom. Thank you.
We have a member of the public that didn't get a chance to sign the sign-up sheet. Would we be willing to grant the 3 minutes for this person to change the agenda to do that? Or?
I move that we suspend the rules in order to allow a member of the public to speak.
Second.
Good second, Ellen. Any discussion? In favor? Juana? I don't know the name, I'm sorry.
Hi, Laura Barone, Planet Street in Torrington. I truly appreciate you allowing me this opportunity.
Very well.
My first,
Get your pencil.
my first meeting, so I appreciate it. I've been learning and reading a lot and researching a lot on all-day kindergarten. I do have a son that is slated to start kindergarten in the fall. And I am aware that there's a lot of very positive, encouraging data to support full-day kindergarten. But there are major drawbacks too. There are 3 that specifically come to mind because my son is, they are geared more towards the younger child. My son is 4. He is going to be 4 when he starts kindergarten. He will not turn 5 until the very end of November. And there are some drawbacks there. I understand that Torrington has been looking to go to full day for quite some time. However, when we went to register him in February, there was no indication that it was going to be happening this fall. And I believe that if we had been given any, we were told, we had our opportunity to pick between morning kindergarten and afternoon kindergarten. We were given what the daily schedule was going to be like. Had I known that it was going to start in the fall, 2014-15, perhaps I would have enrolled him in a 5-day-a-week preschool in order to transition him better. As it is now, Noah has been at Hilltop Preschool now Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 11:30. So he's doing a 5-hour week. And I know you're voting, I believe it's next month, and parents were going to be notified in May to give us 4 months to kind of prepare for an all-day thing is kind of shell-shocked, it's shell-shocked our family. I understand that a lot of these drawbacks that I'm referring to are geared towards children that maybe have not been in preschool or all-day daycare. we haven't done that. We haven't done daycare, and I'm sure that children that have been in a daycare situation or a several day a week or several hour a day preschool for a year's time are able to transition better. But the children that are fortunate to be home or maybe homeschooled, going from a 5-hour socialization week to a 30-hour week, I'm just a little bit concerned of fatigue and not being able to transition well. Academically, I'm not concerned. It's just the fact that my son is 4, and emotionally, he's 4. And I think if we were to know that all-day kindergarten was going to happen next year, we could, transition a little bit better. I don't want to hold him back because academically, he's several grades above his peers, reading and language skills. So I know that he's ready, but I don't know for sure, and I'd like maybe for you to convince me that he is ready for a full day of work. I want him to love school. Education is very important to our family, and I want him to have passion for education for his entire life. And I don't want his first experience in school, formal education, to be overwhelming and tedious for him. I want him to love learning, so I hope that you'll consider what I'm saying. I'm not the only, parent that I may be in the minority, but I'd like you to consider it. And I am very willing to hear what you have to say, but I just wanted to get my feelings known. Thank you so much.
Just in your packet, you found an essay, and this was the essay that Torrington Middle School, all 8th grade students will be participating on the trip to Washington, D.C., the School Wreath Lane Essay Contest. Inside your packet is the winning essay. There were 4 student finalists, and they'll participate in laying of the wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington National Cemetery during the school's trip in May. And the essay that received the most votes by the people who were asked to read and vote is 8th grade Catherine Butrick. Catherine, would you come forward, please? Catherine, on behalf of Torrington Public Schools and the Board of Education, I just want to say thank you very much for an absolutely amazing essay. As I read it, I thought this was not written by an 8th grader, but by a much more mature student. And you really captured the essence of the significance of laying the wreath and also the honor and tribute it pays to our men and women who sacrifice everything for our country.
Thank you.
And also to your family members who have served. So I just want to, say thank you very much for this. And I can't wait to see the pictures when she comes back. Okay? So we can put them up on the website and, all right.
We'll be announcing the other 3 winners on April 8th, or May 8th, I'm sorry, the other 3 layers.
Catherine, thank you for coming tonight.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you for having me.
have a great trip. Thank you for making Torrington Public Schools very proud.
Thank you.
And we will be placing this up on our website tomorrow with a little blurb. Okay.
All right, as we move into the concept of all-day kindergarten, all we're doing tonight is we're going to hear a presentation on all-day kindergarten, and then later on, we're going to vote on whether the board wants to accept the concept of all-day kindergarten. We've had our facilities director and an architect kind of running around looking for space, but as a board, we've never officially said that we want all-day kindergarten or we don't want all-day kindergarten. So to prevent them from continuing their efforts of running around, we want to make sure that the board, it's a will of the board before they continue. So.
It came out of the school improvement committee.
Right, came out of the school improvement committee, recommended this to come to the full board.
All right? Yep, I know, I need a. This is just a copy of the PowerPoint that I want to share with you right now. But anyways, I'm going to start. Okay, start.
Thank you.
All right, if you take a look, I just want to try to make it simple enough. Every fall, we have to evaluate our kindergartners when they come into school. And we have to evaluate them on their literacy, numeracy, socialization skills, and several other skills. And it's done through teacher observation. What's happened over the past few years is that 70% of the children who enter school for the first time in Torrington are unprepared for kindergarten. This is inventory is administered and handed to us by the Connecticut State Department of Education, of which we have to send it in, and then they give us the response back to how they're performing. And the factors that that deal with why students do not have the readiness skills in entering the children is, the first and foremost is socioeconomics within the city of Torrington. Currently, 85, 60, and 57% of our 3 Title I school districts qualify for free and reduced lunch. This includes 3 out of 5 of our elementary schools. Many of these same children have limited or no access to a quality early childhood environment. And I'm not talking for academic reasons, I'm talking for social and emotional development. There's limited access to age and developmentally appropriate reading materials. There's exposure to and modeling of appropriate play activities that lead to early literacy. This may not occur in the home. So those good things that we may have had as children, such as finger plays and poems and rhyming word books and things like that, many children do not have that opportunity because, again, it may not have been part of their family's culture as young children, and so it's not there to pass on. There's many toxic stress incidences in homes today, unemployment, financial difficulties, and daily family challenges. These lead to toxic stress in children. The mother's education level, the parent's literacy level, primary language in the home being one other than English, the demonstration of weakness and executive functions are the keys to school readiness and school success, and overall health and wellness of the child. These are the things that can hamper students' ability to be ready to enter school. You take this, and it's increased by the expectations on, by state mandates with the Common Core state standards. Common Core state standards really focus on higher level thinking skills as you move up from age 8 and beyond. But in the meantime, in order to be able to do those higher level thinking skills, students must be much stronger in their basic skills. And they must be able to identify main characters and find key details in a story. They have to name the author, the illustrator, and define the role of each. Identify reasons the author gives support to a point in a text. In numeracy, they have to be count to 100 by tens. They need to be right numbers, 1 through 20. When we start talking about writing of anything, that is a much higher level thinking skill, because you need the fine and gross motor, you need the memory of what the number looks like, and then be able to replicate it on print on a piece of paper. And you also need to be able to, as we go through further, demonstrate what does 10 look like, both in symbols and with manipulatives. The other thing is that with the Common Core state standards, they assume that a student has foundation in all these skill areas. Social, emotional, so that they can share, they can speak, they can wait their turn, they can listen to others, they can ask questions. Fine and gross motor, from running, skipping, hopping, jumping, throwing a ball, to holding a pencil or crayon, being able to move their body on different levels, whether it's low, medium, and high, and this all pertains to again, reading, writing, and numeracy. With the academic area, we expect children to be able to write their own name, recognize their name, because then we know that there are specific symbols that they already know coming into school. It's also hoped that they know the sounds of the letters in their name. A child knowing their name and recognizing it is one of the most powerful tools for future learning for a child. We look to see if they can count to 5. Can they give you a rhyming word, even if it's a make-up word, so that they can hear sounds? And do they know number symbols represent a specific amount? So if they see 3 manipulatives sitting on a table and they can point to each one and go 1, 2, 3. And then most important are the executive function skills. That's the ability for a child to focus, to be attentive, to have a working memory, to have cognitive flexibility. That means if they have something, they can transfer that skill to another area, and also to be able to control themselves. So when they get frustrated or upset, or something goes wrong, or someone else takes a toy from them, they can handle it, and then it can be worked out between them and the other child. What full-day kindergarten can do? Well, the most important thing is increase student academic achievement and close the achievement gap. They'll have increased reading and writing and math skills compared with the students who are only in a half day. Because when it comes down to a half day, as you I believe you've heard if you were at the School Improvement Committee meeting, it really comes down to about an hour and a half of time that a child has academic instruction, because they do have specials and they do, need to take time out for bathroom breaks and other things, being a young child in school. We're looking at overall long-term gains, because if we don't do it, if they don't learn it in kindergarten, they will move and progress through the grade levels, and it'll take longer to get them to what's expected. Torrington currently right now is part of grade 3, grade level reading achievement for grade 3 through a grant from the Annie Casey Foundation. And I do have data here. I won't be sharing it tonight, but if anybody would like to know, right now, about 50% of those children, so they come in, there's about 70% who do not have the skills. By the end of kindergarten, we have at least 50% of the incoming children making the expected reading level by the end of kindergarten. However, that's 50%. We want 100% to be where they are, because the more successful that we can get them as learners at a young age, the more successful they'll be as they continue through their educational career. And the success has to be by 3rd grade. It's very frightening to read what could happen to a child who is not reading on grade level by 3rd grade. Teachers, by having a child all day, teachers have the opportunity to really get to know the child better, but also to provide them greater differentiation in their instruction, and also if there's intervention that's required, it can be provided, and also to individualize. It's an opportunity to provide support in whatever they may need support. So this is a benefit of having them all day. Then again, if we can identify a child who may be having difficulty in an area, and it could be in any area, the sooner the intervention means less chance of requiring any support as they continue in their educational career. And the most important thing is the ability and the opportunity to develop real deep relationships with families. The child's overall academic success in school is if the parent is a partner in this school program, the child's school program. That is critical. And if people are not aware of how important it is to be involved in their child's education, if we can, cement that relationship when they come to kindergarten, again, the stronger it will be. They'll look to the school, they'll learn and understand what the expectations are for their child, and we can work together both with parenting and academics and social emotional growth and development. This is critical. And with a half a day, there isn't that time, because in developing deeper relationships with families, then we can do much better in establishing those executive functions. And above all, even before literacy and numeracy skills, those executive functions are critical to a student's success in school, because it demonstrates if they can be flexible and if they can use the knowledge they need. Okay, you can skip that one. One more. I'm sorry now. So, who wants full-day kindergarten, or who would support it? Parents, teachers, students, definitely administrators, and there's been 121 school districts in the state of Connecticut, plus magnet and charter schools. As of 2012, there's only 40, well, it should be 43 districts who do not have a full-day kindergarten program yet. Will it cost more? Yes, but that's not until next Wednesday, right? But when you look at the cost for special education, the need for placement into social and emotional programs, and then the impact on the juvenile justice system as they get into high school, it's a lot less expensive to educate the child at a very young age, and they will be more successful as they become adults. Students who learn more are able to hang on to that learning throughout their schooling, their careers, and their lives. Students who are more socially, emotionally, and physically strong, students who are happier at school, and students who can complete, who can compete in the world in which they live. And is it worth the investment? I think to invest in our children regardless of if they're entering kindergarten or in the high school. I don't think I'd be in this profession as long as I have if I didn't think that investing in children and their futures is the most important thing that we can do as a community. It's an investment in the future of our community because we want children to remain here. We want them to live here, be community members who support their town, and even more so is we want them to understand their role and purpose in being part of a democracy and supporting a free and public education system for all children. So the end result, we'll have productive, intelligent, healthy citizens will contribute to a greater society.
This was put forward by the School Improvement Committee. Would the chair of that committee like to address this topic?
I appreciate the presentation. This has been one of kind of my passion projects that I kind of initiated. I was rather shocked when I first, kind of started looking into it that Torrington didn't have full-day kindergarten. And just as a background for myself, I went to elementary, middle, and high school in North Carolina, and in 1989, when I was in kindergarten, we had full-day kindergarten. And North Carolina is not exactly renowned as the education state. I can say that, I'm from there. But I mean, the evidence is overwhelming that kids get more out of full-day kindergarten. This is one of the statistics. I was doing a little research the other night. The gains from all-day kindergarten can last into second grade. And especially for the kids that come from a disadvantaged socioeconomic background, that's critical. To be able to bring them forward and then have gains that'll last on, that we can then carry forward in the later primary grades. It also, just from a sheer kind of perspective on, I think, the board's end, this is one of the first things we can do before it's mandated. I mean, it eventually will. I think we're all smart enough to realize that it's eventually going to be mandated, but this can get us out ahead of the curve so that we don't sit here when it is mandated and ask why it's hard for mandating stuff, when we can take the proactive step to actually do it. So I beseech you, on behalf of the kids that will actually benefit from it, to endorse the concept of full-day kindergarten, have the administration come up with an implementation plan, and include it in the 14-15 budget.
Mr. Rader.
Just a couple points. One, we forget that other end student, the top end student, who's coming to kindergarten, and some of those kids have been in preschool all day long and are very academically oriented. A lot of preschools are academically oriented now. And then they go to kindergarten for half a day. It's almost a step down from what they were doing in preschool. And so we need to continue to challenge those kids also. The other thing is I have the pleasure to volunteer at Southwest School every Friday. And one of the classes that I work in is the kindergarten classroom. I have no idea how she gets done what she gets done in half a day. Sometimes, I taught second grade most of my career, but I'm sitting in the kindergarten class and I'm thinking to myself, sometimes this is like herding cats. I mean, these are 5-year-olds. They're lively, they're enthusiastic, they want to learn. And in my way of thinking, all-day kindergarten gives that teacher the time to take her time so that kids can learn. So I think, obviously, I'm one of the supporters of it.
Is the vote going to be to approve the concept or to approve the concept and implementing it in 14-15?
We are only, to avoid, and I'll use this word very loosely, to avoid wasting resources. We've been having the facilities director, the architect Joe Alicata, the administration running circles around coming up with this plan or this plan or this plan for where we could fit the rooms. But before we continue and we start pricing it and we just let this monster grow any larger, I think we need to know if the board actually is going to endorse all-day kindergarten before we spend a massive amount of money coming up with where we can fit it, and then we say, I don't really want to do that. So this is strictly just the concept of all-day kindergarten, and is the board behind that concept? And then we'll have the administration go further to come up with the cost schedule, the implementation, so that we're not just continuing. We kind of have the cart in front of the horse at this point, and I want to get the horse back out in front of the cart.
Can I just say one more thing?
No.
When I looked at the research that was cited, and one of the things, I think I might have said this, but one of the things that struck me was the years of the research. So I said to myself, there must be more current research out here. I mean, if you look on here, some of it's from 89, 95, 92. But then when I went to do the research, I realized that there isn't a lot out there current because it's a dead issue. Most educators accept the fact that all-day kindergarten is a good thing. So that's why you don't see a lot of 2014 research here. It's not being researched anymore. It's accepted fact.
My feelings on it, first of all, being a native Virginian, I do want to agree with Mr. Brady's assessment of North Carolina. That being said, I did want to address the socioeconomic aspect of it. I did grow up inner city. I was not from a family of means. I do know that for a lot of the families in town, there's not a lot of money. And probably one of the best places for those kids is in our schools. So that, along with all of the other great points that have been brought up, is another thing that we really need to consider. I mean, have them in a stable educational situation as opposed to sitting at home waiting for mom and dad, or just mom, or just dad to get home, I think is something we need to consider as well. I don't know if that's for the North Carolina comment.
We'll go with the other comment, but you know, I think you're right. Mr. Kisco, do you have anything to add?
I do, and Mr. Hinman is correct, there's not much money in town, but that also means there isn't much money to fund things, so we have to be very careful about what we do. There was a transportation saving, I think, that we were talking about in some meeting. Would you like to get into that, please?
I'll do money, when we come to money. Tonight's just the idea.
Okay, but there will be some saving as well as some spending
Yes.
associated with this.
Well, we've, thanks to Mr. Nargi's suggestion, we came up with something that could make it a lot less costly.
Mr. Tebow, do you have anything? Mr. Nardi?
Just that everything the board says sounds very good, positive. But then I listened to this lady tonight, and I would just wonder how many parents out there are actually in favor of wanting this as well. Seems like a lot of people are used to the fact that they like to slowly transition their children. I think that's why they had the concept of half-day, was the transition year, and then go to the full day. I just would like to know more of what parents would actually, it's their kids. I mean, I know we like to dictate to the parents what we want for their kids, but is this something that the parents of these kids want to embrace? Do we have time to hear more from what parents want? I mean, I'm in favor of the concept. Everybody makes great points. I think there's nothing more vital than to get kids on track as early as possible. It's just really the relationship of parents and children needs to be a factor in whether or not we want to go forward at this time.
Well, your point is right on with what we're looking to do here. Right now, this is just to find out if the board wants to move forward with this. If we do, we have, there's nothing saying it has to be next year. There's nothing saying it has to be in 2015, 2016. This is just to start the ball rolling. Do we want to continue to pursue this topic? There seems to be some legs under this topic, but we haven't really officially said that this is a topic we want the administration to focus on. And before it takes on a life of its own, and it consumes an ungodly amount of time, and then it gets back to the board, and the board goes, no. And then it's just all wasted time. So we're here just to figure out if we're in support of the concept, and then we have to start breaking down the concept, cost, space availability, and where the next step is. So
I'm in favor of moving it forward. It's definitely something.
There's also many different models of transitioning kids into all-day kindergarten. And there are many models that not everyone starts all day. So I don't know what their plan is, but there are a lot of different models out there.
having served in 3 different school districts, you could start as a half-day and go into a full day. You can make an option for parents that if they want a half-day, then their child goes home when the children go to lunch. I mean, we can be flexible.
Thank you.
Christie, do you have anything?
I do. I think beyond the educational benefits that everyone's highlighted, which I agree with, this is a chance for the Board of Ed to step up and have some skin in the game for the economic development of town, I think. This will make us more attractive as a community for businesses and for homeowners, who are taxpayers. You want to broaden that base, you want to keep them here, you want solid, stable housing prices. This feeds into that concept, so it's not just about the kids, primary reasons for the kids, but can help with the economic development in town at the same time.
Because we did have 14 children who registered at magnet schools because they offer all-day K.
Any other discussion from anyone? Okay, we're gonna move on to receiving the superintendent's, no, because it's later on in the agenda, it's an action item for approval. This was just a discussion portion. Receiving of the superintendent's 2014-2015 budget.
I'd like to thank my assistant tonight and Mr. Bookday. Yes, this is
You're this evening's Vanna White, right? You'll be turning the letters.
I turn letters, whatever you need.
as you look at your, just.
Just want to go over, before she starts on it, what the schedule is for the budget. This evening, the intent is to receive the budget from the superintendent, receive the recommendations from the budget committee that's been nursing this for the last month and a half. Allow everybody to absorb what you're getting this evening and the emails that you've received with the information to back it up. We have the public hearing on Monday the 24th. That's at Bova Wetmore, correct? And then we're back here on next Wednesday, the 26th, to start diving into this budget. So, the main focus tonight is to let the superintendent present it, give us the opportunity to absorb it, get the comments of the budget committee that's been involved in this for the past month and a half. And then, we can have some minor discussion, but we have 2 dedicated meetings coming up just to discuss the budget. So this is more of a receive.
I just would like to state that before I get into the nitty-gritty of the budget, that this was first and foremost designed with Torrington Board of Education goals in mind and ways to achieve these goals. That's on your that's on your first page of the handout. The second piece is the district improvement plan, which I created last year, and it will probably take us 2 to 3 years to achieve what's in it. And the district improvement plan has 4 major areas, and the base behind it is a theory of action to achieve it, and then the rationale. It's a much longer plan. It's on our website if you'd like to see that piece, about 16 pages. But this is what was the basis for developing this budget. But first and foremost, this budget was developed with the children of Torrington in mind. Their needs, their strengths, what all children need, regardless of their age, their socioeconomics, their gender. It was for all children here. In fact, what I really wanted to do was just have a group of children stand here as I went through the budget so that, you know, you have, you see what, just a little piece of what we come in contact with every day. I think one of the best things for me working here in town is having Midgeon Academy on the first floor of our offices, because I can walk by children every day, students working, and I say, okay, maybe it was a tough meeting last night, or maybe, you know, something came up, and I'll be working on it till midnight tonight. But when you see the kids, or you go into a building, or you listen to what is happening at our high school, and then you say, yes, it's all worth it. So you'll receive the book, the budget book, after we're done. And in it, my letter invites all of you to become stakeholders. Stakeholders in a major investment for the city of Torrington, and that's our children. So I will not go into that right now, but taking a look, we started this process back in November. We had an all-in budget amount. I do this with the administrators because they develop a process in their building where they develop their budget, and then they come to me and the leadership team and share what they would like in their budget this year. And for a few, because we always start with a zero base, because, you know, we can dream. We can dream for about, you know, the first month or two into the budget. And then our business manager comes up with the total amount and what requests were, and that you'll see in the first line, and the percentage of increase, which was 10.96%. And after I look at that number, I say, oops, back to the drawing board. Let's be realistic. And so we meet in consecutive Tuesdays, and by February 26th, we were down to 5.49% increase, and then after the last go-through, we've honed it down to 4.68%, and that's an increase in both operating and capital budget for the 2014-2015 budget. If you take a look on the next page, you'll see budget comparisons, because this is the major areas of our budget, and it shows the areas and the increase for this year. Salaries, benefits, it's like, you know, it's like your home budget. There's just certain things that go up at each year. You know, utilities, groceries, tuition payments if you have someone in college. But anyways, it's salaries, benefits, so you see the comparison between our current school year and the next school year. Transportation, technology, tuition, that's both for students who need to be outplaced for their special education needs, but also tuition to our BOE schools, athletics, utilities and facilities. And so that demonstrates the difference of the major core areas of our budget. On the next pages, the next few pages, is you'll see what was in the all-in, I'll say all-in budget, the dream budgets of the administrators, and and by school. And of this dream piece, there are only a few pieces remaining in this. One is the in-school suspension coordinator at THS. At Vogel-Wetmore, it says 1.0 ESL teacher, but it'll be a 0.5. And it'll be at Southwest, the 1.0 FTE ESL teacher will also be a 0.5. So instead of having two, we'll have a half in both buildings. The in-school coordinator And then under student services, it's 1.0 FTE of a life skills teacher and a 1.0 FTE special education teacher for 7th grade. That is all that remained. And I'm sorry, I apologize, it cut off, but it's in the big book. So, and the athletic component for reconditioning uniforms and getting new track uniforms. So that piece remained as well. So as you can see from, there was a lot reduced to get down to the 4.68. On the last two pages this is what the objectives were. Okay? As I said earlier, to achieve the goals of the Board of Education, to implement the district improvement plan. Other things in capital is the upgrade of the secondary music program, their instrument inventory, purchase of additional technology for Torrington Middle School and the upper elementary schools, continue small learning communities at the secondary level, continue small class size at all elementary classrooms, grades kindergarten through 5th, maintain a highly qualified faculty and administration, continue development of curriculum, instructional units, and performance tasks assessments that align with Common Core standards and Smarter Balance assessments, continue the implementation of the Torrington Teacher and Administrator Evaluation plans and system, to continue to expand special education programs in Torrington Public Schools in order to keep students in their home districts as the least restrictive environment and defray the cost of out-of-district tuition and transportation costs. Maintain a quality athletics program at the high school, to continue to expand online learning, especially in the summer program at Torrington Middle School for children who may be at risk for failing while they're in middle school, and then what happens if they become overaged and undercredited at the high school. Expand the Ready, Set, Go school readiness program for incoming kindergartens, better known as Kindergarten Boot Camp. And this is for children who may not have had the opportunity to attend a preschool program. And what we work on is that whole social, emotional, and executive functions thrown in with a little academics, and it's for 6 weeks during the summer. To develop a STEM, science, technology, engineering, and manufacturing summer program for 4th and 5th graders. To develop and expand services to preschool-age children through cooperative efforts with Torrington Early Childhood Collaborative and its 60-plus community members. To improve security infrastructure of all facilities. Develop further programs that engage families with their children's educational program. And a lot more, but those are the highlights.